According to a 2024 study by Royal Holloway University, nearly half of all young people in the UK say they're dissatisfied with how democracy works. Surprising, really. You'd think 3 Prime Ministers in 4 years would inspire confidence. After all, nothing says stable government like a political system running on the same turnover rate as a McDonald's night shift. The thing with dissatisfaction though, it doesn't just sit quietly, it festers and it turns into a frustration. That frustration then turns to anger. The kind of anger that makes people scroll a little faster, share a little quicker and question a little less. Now, what this short film will show is that anger is fertile ground for misinformation to bloom. A headline that confirms your worst fears? Share it. A post that blames the right targets? Believe it. A statistic with no source? Close enough. Before long, decisions are no longer made with reason, but with adrenaline. And in politics, this anger is incredibly useful. It could be nudged, stoked, redirected, weaponised. Not to inform people, but to move them, because an angry vote is predictable. And predictable voters are easy to steer, like sheep. If sheep also had Wi-Fi and a deep distrust of experts. How do we know we don't? But anyway, with this in mind, I ran a little experiment, creating a fresh TikTok account, no history, no preferences, no political leanings, a blank slate. And the way to see how long it would take before the algorithm decided I needed to be informed, or more likely, enraged. It didn't take long. Within 5 minutes of creating the account, and after lingering for a few seconds too long in a particular party's video, my feed became full of nothing but reasons to be afraid for my very way of life being under attack. Here's some of the content it showed me.
I rang the police last Wednesday. I said,
what do asylum seekers really get?
Good afternoon.
If this offends you, good, keep scrolling. But if English people putting up English flags in English cities annoys you, then the problem isn't the flags, it's you.
So here's a good example of content that could easily make me angry. There's a lot wrong with it. Firstly, they're talking about their English flag while showing the Union Jack, which either means Britishness is solely defined by English patriotism, or she is actually talking about the St George's Cross, but just couldn't be bothered to show it. St George, of course, being the patron saint of England, who was born in modern-day Turkey, but it's fine, we'll just file that under, we don't need to talk about it. Anyway, back to it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't want them in our country.
£300 a
I can't tell you the number of people that have said to me in the course of the last couple of years, we don't recognise our town, we don't recognise our village. We go to the shops and we're surrounded by people speaking foreign.
Renting in England.
they didn't want you to look too close.
Here's 7 of the regular Brits are moving abroad in.
Did you know that for around 200...
So the 5 reasons that we are leaving the UK.
3 dangerous settings.
By the year 2063, white Britons will be a minority in the United Kingdom.
Now, here's an even better example. This is, of course, Matt Goodwin of Reform UK, delivering a speech at the European Parliament last year. Let's watch the rest of the video and break down the key structure after.
Among the under 40s, that will happen as early as 2050. By the year 2079, people born outside of the United Kingdom and their immediate descendants will represent a majority in the entire United Kingdom. By 2100, the end of this century, 1 in 4 British adults and 1 in 3 British children, unless we change the current direction, will be following Islam.
So, he spoke of demographic projections, presented them as somehow destiny if we follow our current course, and framed this destiny as an existential threat. Now, we've heard this before. In 1960, Enoch Powell declared in his infamous Rivers of Blood speech that immigration would lead to the black man having the whip hand over the white man. He predicted social collapse, racial conflict, and the Britain overwhelmed by the other. But even Powell wasn't the first one you could say it. Go back all the way to the 1930s, you'll find a pre-Peaky Blinders Oswald Mosley, leader of the British Union of Fascists, delivering speeches warning that immigrants and minorities were undermining the nation. A message wrapped in nationalism but driven by fear. Different decades, different speakers, same formula. Now, to be clear, emotions are part of how we make decisions. They always have been. We're humans, we feel things. Pride, hope, frustration, love, fear, and yes, anger. Especially the kind of anger you feel when you realise too late your shopping trolley has a dodgy wheel and you start drifting through Tesco like you've wandered accidentally into a Fast and Furious movie. But when this anger or fear become the only lens we look through, that's when we stop choosing and we start reacting. And that's the point. These videos I've shown you, none of these have been fact-checked by TikTok, probably because the algorithm doesn't wait for accuracy. It rewards immediacy. It rewards whatever will keep you scrolling like a little lab rat hitting a dopamine lever. Anger is fast, fear is fast, outrage is fast, critical thinking, that's what's slow. So seeing as social media as a system built on speed, slow loses. The algorithm knows what makes us angry. The question is whether we know what makes us think.